Welcome to the AARDY.com YouTube channel for travel tips. I'm Jonathan Breeze, the CEO, and today's topic, China Travel Insurance Review. Well, China has enjoyed rapid growth in recent decades. It is an economic colossus impacting the entire globe. It is a regional superpower and is extending its political and economic influence far outside its borders. Now, China is a fascinating country and shares a long history with the United States, so it is not surprising that China is becoming an increasingly popular destination for US travelers. Now, having decided to head to China, travelers should consider our China Travel Insurance Review. Well, travel insurance for China makes great sense for almost all travelers. Trip insurance is an affordable cover for unforeseen expenses on a vacation or a business trip. So travel protection typically offers coverage for medical emergencies. It covers trip cancellation, trip interruption, and baggage loss. It provides compensation for accidental death and dismemberment. Flight accident, car rental insurance can also be supplemented. So the most common claim is when a traveller needs to cancel a trip due to an unforeseen illness of the insured's travelling companion or family member. Medical travel insurance has a higher claim rate for illness or injury for children and seniors. Well, as simplistic as it sounds, it is not advisable to have to rely upon your China travel medical insurance. A much better idea would be to stay healthy when visiting China. So, for example, drinking tap water whilst in China is not advised. Drink bottled water only. Ensure that the bottled water has a sealed cap when purchasing. Street food can be incredibly tasty, but be careful. If the food has been sat for some time, then definitely avoid it. Food sat in the sun or food that has flies around it is never a good idea. So we feel far more comfortable eating food that has been flash fried, much less chance of food poisoning. It's easy to avoid certain diseases by ensuring that the recommended vaccines for China are up to date. So give yourself 4 and 6 weeks prior to your trip to get vaccinations in the correct sequence. Do check with your physician. So make sure that you're up to date on routine vaccines before every trip. These are some of the perils to try to avoid when visiting China. So hepatitis A. The CDC recommends this vaccine because you can get hepatitis A through contaminated food or water in China, regardless of where you're eating or staying. And there's typhoid, where you can get typhoid through contaminated food or water in China, and the CDC recommends this vaccine for most travelers, especially if you're staying with friends or relatives or visiting smaller cities or rural areas, or if you are an adventurous eater. And some travelers will also need to consider whether they need protection for an increasingly exotic range of illnesses. Hepatitis B, Japanese flu, rabies, and malaria are all on the list from the CDC, so definitely talk to your physician. Well, in our country, we have a certain rhythm when out and about. Subconsciously, we conduct ourselves in a way that is based on our previous experiences. So when in China, open your eyes to the street, the road, the crossings. Try to anticipate where the danger will come from, whether this is from bicycles on the sidewalk or street crossings where cars do not stop. Think as to whether you want to ride on a bike, a rickshaw, or a motorcycle. If in a car or a bus, wear a seatbelt. And remember that US Medicare does not provide coverage overseas. China is no exception. Our best advice, if you're traveling to China, pack travel insurance. And at AARDY Compare, we offer a range of different Chinese travel insurance plans for customers traveling from the USA to China. We're licensed in all 50 states and DC, and our trip insurance carriers are some of the most respected in the USA. And what's even better news is that the US has anti-discriminatory insurance laws preventing any other price being shown except the same price that we show you. You cannot compete on price for a filed insurance product in the US. So even if you go direct to each of the insurers that we'll show you, the price of a plan will be exactly the same to the cent. But at AARDY Compare, you can compare, contrast, and see which plan is right for you. Safe travels.